Hello and welcome back to DROD Advanced Concepts 2, where we are dealing with rock giants. And, okay, I guess we need the Yomplik to break these orbs in order to be able to actually do anything with this room. Now, rock giants... are kind of weird. I'm not... what I mean by that is, I honestly don't know why these were included in Advanced Concepts, because I don't really think they're that complicated. So I guess this might be a short part, or maybe there's a whole bunch of really crazy details to deal with. I mean, I guess rock golems were in the last hold, that's true, yeah. After learning all about rock golems in the last hold, Bithro was pretty confident, but the rock giants presented a whole new challenge and didn't really behave like anything he'd ever encountered before. Oh, isn't this Rasmus? Isn't this the guy who did Complex? Am I thinking of the right guy? Yeah, there was some nasty rock giant stuff there, so if anyone would know... Oh, I'm gonna have some sort of awful arrow maze, aren't I? Suddenly I'm getting these flashbacks. The trauma was real. Complex is a thing. The rock giant is the only monster covering a 2x2 square of tiles. This naturally raises some questions about how the giant moves, how it interacts with other elements, and how it is killed. Okay, there is some technical details there, I suppose. Because the giant is a rock monster closely related to the golem, one would also want to know what happens when it dies. This level will try to answer these questions, and will also include some challenge rooms at the end. The level will start by covering the giant's movement preferences, which have some quirks that are good to know about. A giant that is blocked from moving diagonally towards you will move orthogonally around obstacles. If its center is in a straight diagonal line from you, okay, which it is, the giant will prefer north, south, or south to east or west. If it is not, the giant will move toward the diagonal line. Okay, so it'll prefer north. Okay. Yeah. So basically, when it's not directly on a diagonal, it has smarter pathfinding than a regular enemy does. Goodbye. The giant, with either of its halves in an orthogonal line from you, will move straight toward you if it can, and will try to move diagonally around one by one obstacles blocking its path. Makes sense? Yep. Trying to move around towards me, but the obstacles move it around. Let's actually turn my sword properly. One thing that is important to remember when dealing with giants is that none of its four parts can ever move onto any obstacle or violate any of the arrow or orthosquare rules. This means that the giant can be affected by several arrows at once. Okay, then we've got the orthosquare stopping it from moving. Also on the arrows, so it has to do some crazy maneuvering there. So what happens if an arrow forces the giant to choose between two possible diagonal moves towards you? The simplest possibility, that the giant would always move to keep itself in a straight line from you, does not hold true. Instead, the giant has set preferences deciding how it will move. The giant will always prefer north to south when choosing between two possible diagonal moves. Okay. So here... I see. Yeah, its choice is to either move this segment here and avoid the arrow, or move this segment diagonally down into the force arrow. So it prefers north over south. Yeah. Okay, we got some more demonstration on the other side. So this is the opposite now. So this one, yeah, is showing... It might have been showing it over here as well. It will step onto the arrow if it has to. Then it has to do it again, and then it'll step around like that. Okay. A giant will always prefer west to east when choosing between two possible diagonal moves. Prefers west as opposed to east. Okay. Notice this is no backtracking. I'm forced by the arrows to move in a very specific pattern. The behavior shown in the previous room becomes even stranger when you realize that, because of movement preference, a giant that should be able to kill you may not do so. Okay. So I hit this to release you. And then what do I do? I just wait, right? I wait. You could kill me if you go here, but because you're going to prefer the west move, you're going to get stuck. Yeah, okay, that's what it was trying to... That was the point of that lesson. Because of the arrow. Oh man, okay, that's pretty weird. I'm starting to understand why this element was included here. This is going to be the same thing. It's going to prefer to go north. Yeah.
Clear.
This little trick could become useful if you ever find yourself in a giant guiding room. Next, giant features. Giants are killed by all the things that kill regular golems with one exception. Adders cannot eat a giant. Okay. Yep, no eating of the giant. If only part of a giant is harmed, golems form on the unharmed tiles. They don't start moving until the turn after the giant was destroyed. Alright, so drop it away, get the golems that way. Something I am familiar with. And then demonstrating it again here with spawning the golems, and here as well we'll be spawning a golem. And if I ran up here, it wouldn't matter because it's automatically going to be in range. Okay. So I wouldn't have a choice there. Fagundo is also going to demonstrate the same thing, I guess. It's fine. If a giant is stabbed, a pile of rocks will appear on the stabbed tile. Live golems will form on the remaining tiles. Yep. Don't know if that was quite optimal. If one or more of the giant's parts stays in place on a hot tile for more than one turn, the giant will split into 4 live golems. Notice that the movement order of the golems the giant creates is always 4, 2, 3, 1. Oh, that's unfortunate. You rarely have to pay attention to this in puzzles, but it can be useful to know if you need a certain formation of golems. 9, so yeah, 9, 10, 11, 12, yep. The giant is a heavy monster, and a raft that has part of a giant on it will be impossible to move. If the giant is killed, some of its mass will pour into the pit, making it possible to push the raft. If the giant is killed, rather. Yeah, cannot move. Where's the tunnel go? I guess the tunnel's just to stop me from bringing a golem through here. One thing that can be useful to know is that giants, like most other monsters, can kill you if you're on a tunnel. However, a giant will always consider a tunnel you're not occupying as an obstacle. Oh, well, okay, that works too. yeah, it was not very efficient. I'll worry about optimizing these on my own time. Those are the basics you need to keep in mind. Now the hard work begins. Oh boy. Useful tricks. Medium difficulty challenge rooms required to beat the level. Hard challenge rooms not required. The giant has plenty of unique features, covering a 2x2 square, being able to block adders and round corner golems. And round corners, golems would be stuck on, etc. Okay. In many rooms, you will need to make good use of these features, and killing a giant you encounter straight away may not always be a good idea. Well, that was certainly true of Complex, but not in general. I find I can usually just kill giants and be fine, the way most architects use them. Sometimes you need to use the giant for pressing pressure plates or blocking monsters. Sometimes you need to figure out where to kill the giant to be able to use the golems it spawns. Okay, so what's going to go on here? We're going to do this, and that's fine. Oh, I see. We can't get a golem here, so we need to kill the giant in this space in order to have a golem in that square. Okay. I think that's what I'm seeing. Because we're going to need all three of these held down, right? That's right, my sword blocks it. I got some practice using... Yeah, okay, let's be smarter about this. I get you up like that. Oh. I don't think this is what we want, because... Yeah, there's no way I can use that. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and then I get the one stuck on the corner. Excellent. How about this one? What's the deal here? We could stab it. I guess this is a timer. We need the giant to hit this for us. Let's just ignore the giant. And see that we run out of time. We didn't run out of time. Okay, so that wasn't a timer then. It was just a matter of... Well, still, I think we can do this all at once. I could do that, so it'll be faster than dealing with it in another way, probably. Oh, I thought that was going to release the adder, but no. This opens this. What releases the adder? This does. Okay. And when the adder is released... is what it's saying is we need to use... Okay, the problem here... Oops. The problem here, if I were to just quickly demonstrate this, is that we don't have a way out. So instead, what we have to do... Let's do one of these at a time. I think that was a mistake to let the other one out. What does this do? Locks both of those. Okay, so I can't... We can do that to Oh dear. No, it's not going to get us past here, is it? What does the scroll say? Hard challenge. Don't press this plate. Completing this challenge will earn you a better score. Well,
My
also...
name is Beethro.
Pressing this... locks off the Conquer token, right? Oh, I see. I can get around and get the Conquer token again a second time. So this is... What this is saying is I can do this... Isn't it just a matter of killing a golem there? Okay, I see. I see what the trick is. The trick is we need to get the giant into position and then kill it there. Okay. So I do have to let them both out at once if I want to. I want to do that. Yeah, because this is an issue now because I can't get around you. And there's no way we can keep you in there without hitting it. Okay. I think I see. I want to try this. There's no challenges implemented in this, but I want to try it. That might not be the best one to leave for last then. Okay, well, let's try. Wait, you're gonna step around that way, but if I do that, you won't. Okay, well you're gonna do that though. If I do that, you can't. Yeah, this is very much some complex kind of maneuvering there. The giant in place, and now the adder can't escape. Okay, well. That was a good little challenge. Not too difficult. Dead end room here. Because the giant will need one more turn than you do to round a corner. Trapping a giant behind an obstacle block is easy. If you say so. Ah, I see. I come around, then I can keep going. But, which way do I want to go? I need to get a certain amount of time. Okay, yeah, you can't get through here if we do this. Which way is going to be the fastest? Like this? Oh no, that's not right at all. Let's just go again. Okay, we'll go the other way, I guess. Go back around. We're gonna wait one, and then we'll leave you there. Sure. Do I have enough time? I do not. So I'm not entirely sure where I should be trapping this thing then. I guess using this arrow would be the obvious way. How would I use this arrow to my advantage? When I tried this before, I couldn't get around fast enough. I guess I could do this. I would do it, right? Yeah, and that keeps you stuck. Do I just kill you? Yeah, there's a trapdoor here, so the answer is yes. Assuming I don't need to come back this way. Again, there's a trapdoor. Remember that a giant always requires 2 or 3 open squares to move. You can block a giant standing on an adjacent square from killing you using your sword or even another monster. If I wait, it's a little bit prettier. Pay attention to the movement order of the monsters in the room. Goblin is first. Okay. We want... Let's do... Ah. What? Are you saying that we have to hit this first? Okay, so is this just forcing me to do something like this? Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay. Back here. I feel like the first way was probably better, but... What am I supposed to do here? Because I have to hit this orb before you hit this, right? Okay, so the other thing we can attempt is oh, I can't. That's not gonna work at all. If I use the goblin somehow to stop. No, we don't want that. We want... So, I'm trying to... Okay, well, let me do some counting here, because I step here and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Strike the orb. I have to do that as fast as possible. No sword turns, only movement. And that means my sword has to be facing... I guess... could try this. There we go. But now I can't do that. Use the goblin to protect me, but then I still get stuck by the giant. Okay, there we go. That was weird. Okay, what's the deal with this? I need you to hit this. Which means I'm using the goblin the whole time to prevent you from ever moving north. Okay. Wonderful. It's fine. At this point it's easy enough. Really? And now I can't kill the goblin. Now I can't keep the goblin alive. What if I wait? I can't do this with the goblin? Okay. In that case, I guess I use the giant to keep the other giant. I guess that works, and that's what the ortho squares are for. Okay. I guess rock giants aren't a monster I actually see a whole lot of architects using. Imagine, if you can, what would have happened if the giant had moved before the goblin, or if the second giant had moved before the first. Well, probably a dead bee throw. Alright. That was a room. Yes. The infamous brained giant. The brain giant movement has been covered much better than I ever could in T.F. Murphy's Advanced Brain Movement from Advanced Concepts 1. Here, I am just going to show you a little trick for dealing with brained giants. For some very unobvious reason, when you face northwest, keeping your sword between yourself and a brained giant, the giant will start acting strange. I guess the decoy is out of range, it's just a hint. Point your sword this way, dummy. It'll help the demo of what they're trying to show off here work better. Yes, they're acting strange. Any non-diagonal move you make, the giant will try to mimic. The giant will end up in the same position as before it moved, and you'll be able to guide it anywhere without trouble. This room may look hard, but knowing this trick makes it very easy. Note, if you move your sword onto any obstacle, the trick will fail. If the giant is out of position, all you need to do is move a few steps southeast and the giant will be back on track. Okay, well, it's not actually... Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with this. It's not actually... not actually as bad as doing full mimic type stuff, but yeah, it'll be weird. First time you see this. And that's because it's trying to move around me, but poised to in this direction, I suppose. And don't hit that, but hit that. Yeah, okay. Well, that was just a very silly room. But yeah, good to demonstrate the oddity that is the brained rock giant. Medium difficult challenge rooms required to pass. Okay, so that's it for the tutorial then, I guess, right? Yeah, not that much. It was new to me. I did never consider the adder, but it's an obvious interaction when you think about it. But everything else I was pretty much familiar with, although some of the exact details of the movement, like how the movement works, I guess I'm more familiar with the consequences of the rules rather than what the rules themselves actually are. That would be a better way of saying it. Okay, So stack up the giants, and then you get 2, 4, 6, 8. You only need 4. 4 high. While you come in here. Is that what the scroll's going to tell me? With roaches, you need to struggle to get them to keep a formation. Giants, on the other hand, are very keen to keep the formation they're in. The Earther squares in this room are there to make it easier to keep the giants in line, but as you'll see, if you reach the harder challenge rooms, they are not needed. Okay. Oh, I see. That's what I want to do, right? Oops. Let you come. What am I even doing? Not the right thing, clearly. How does this help me keep them in line? I'm not understanding something fundamental here. How do I keep these giants? It says keep them in line. I don't want to keep them in line. I want them going from this orientation to this orientation. Can I just... Going up to the top here doesn't help that. Well, I do only need 4 of them, so I suppose what I can do is I can use the first one. Right, because you're gonna prefer that. There we go. Okay, that was pretty weird. By keeping a giant 1 square away with your sword facing it diagonally, you can guide it in any direction. Okay, well... That's not what it... This isn't what it meant, clearly. By keeping a giant 1 square away with your sword facing it diagonally. Oh, you mean like this? Gotta be. It's gotta be something like this, right? Okay, well, we're gonna go around. Of course. what we want to do here is... No, because then you're gonna... Okay, there we go. That's what we wanted. And then... That opens this, so I guess... We don't have a choice, we have to do this again, and then we can rotate. I see. And that's what the arrow is for. Well, this is a problem. That's almost certainly gonna end any hope of success. There aren't a lot of moves here. There are not a lot of moves here. There must be a way of doing this. Problem is, I don't have a force arrow here to allow me to change my... Whoops. I don't want to change my orientation. I don't want to change my orientation, but I need you. Go up. Okay, maybe. Maybe I can backtrack at this point somehow? Maybe I had this part wrong. Okay, I could just do it from a different position. That's all that was. Yeah, that's fine. Wait a minute, that's not where we want to be. Go. That'll do it. Weird. Remember, the giant's movement preferences. When moving diagonally, the giant prefers north to south and west to east. Read the following scrolls only if you need hints. Okay, well, I guess I've got two separate arenas here then. Okay. What's the goal? Is the goal to trap the giant and then... Let's see, rotate. Releases you this way, rotating... Releases you this way. Okay, so the goal is to trap both of the giants and then get out. Okay, not too bad. I should probably have my sword in a better orientation. Or this? Well, you'll prefer... Oops. What am I even doing? What if I have my sword facing this way? Can I just rush this? No. I can't do that, and then... Yeah, because that's just gonna kill you. Well, now I'm just kind of doing trial and error. Well, that's promising. And then I do that, and you're... There's no way that's gonna work. Well, I don't really feel like there's much value in me just doing this over and over through trial and error, so let's see what they have to say about this. Only one of the giants in this room is passable, starting from the pressure plate releasing it. Okay, well... I guess... I mean, it's not to say that this is necessarily not the passable one, but I guess what I could have done is analyze the rest of the room and figured out whether I even need both of these rock giants. So what do these do? 1, 2... 1, 2... Yeah. Okay. So one of them gets killed by Briar, the other... Doesn't matter. Okay. So can I figure out which of the two giants is possible then? Obviously leaning towards this one not being possible because I just tried a bunch of stuff and nothing worked. But... this is going to have to do with giant movement preferences. They prefer north and east, south and west, right? Well, let's just play with this one and see if it feels any different. Not appreciably. But I guess it was. Okay. If I try that kind of a sequence here... I don't even remember what I did. I don't even remember what I did. I'll just assume that I did what was right. Pass the eastern giant by letting it move northwest twice and then southwest around the arrow. Okay, as opposed to this one moving, what would that be? Southeast? Twice, getting around the arrow? You don't need your sword to block the giant. In fact, blocking it with your sword will only complicate things. Let the eastern giant press the western pressure plate. Tap the two giants on the arrows in the western chamber. Wait, now it's telling me I need both of them. Oh. Yeah, those are both toggles. I need both to be toggled at the same time. Okay. It says I don't need the sword for this, but I kind of do? Don't I? How do I get out? How do I get out without having trapped you? Silly question. You don't. Instead, you do that. Wrap it on one of the arrows. How do I do this now? No, I need to use my sword. I can do that. Okay, well that was fine. Okay, well... now what do I do? I do that. I get one of you in there, but now you're going to... oh, you can't. Okay. Okay. I see. No, that was really weird. Hard challenge rooms. Well, I guess we will start with this in the next part, because I think that's a good spot to leave it. So I will see you then.